Welcome to the Maine Basketball Rankings podcast. I'm your host, basketball data nerd, Lucas McNelly. Today's episode is brought to you by Vertical Raise, one of the largest fundraising platforms in the country, now proudly helping teams, clubs, and programs across Maine. With Vertical Raise, your program can raise more money in less time. No selling, no collecting, just results, from new uniforms and better equipment to tournament trips and every fundraising need in between, and hopefully someday shot clocks. Vertical Raise has a variety of campaigns to make it happen. Your main reps, Christie and DChase, are both coaches who know what it takes to run a great program. Christie's playing for a state championship this week at any sport, club, or grade level, and they understand how important fundraising is to making it happen. Schedule a call or email today and see how Vertical Raise can take your fundraising to the next level. Okay, so today's show, Ryan McLaughlin's here. We're going to overreact to week 10. Is it week 10? It's week something or other. It's the playoffs, so I guess we stopped counting the weeks. I don't know. It's a quarterfinals for some people. It's the semifinals for other people, and it was a regional final for other people. It's all very confusing, but we'll get into it. We're going to react to the Patriots and Drake May, and somehow Drake May is the betting favorite for the MVP. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it seems a little ahead of schedule. Before that, make sure you subscribe to wherever you're watching this, and make sure you subscribe, YouTube, wherever, leave a review, all that stuff. And then you want to also make sure you subscribe to mainbasketballrankings.com for the newsletter. You want to join at the varsity level. It's only $6 a month. You're going to get tons of stuff, and you're going to be way more informed about basketball season than everybody else sitting in the bleachers, and you can make them all look very stupid because you'll know things that they don't know because you subscribe to mainbasketballrankings.com, and it helps make it possible to do these shows. I love every week people come up to me at football games like, "Oh, I love the podcast. Love what you do." Well, the way I get to keep doing it is if people subscribe to the website and do all the things. So, wanted to talk a little bit about the Falmouth Kennebunk game. I went to that this weekend because that was kind of a no-brainer. Everybody knew that was going to be a great game. They had the state championship game last year, and then week one, Kennebunk beat Falmouth 14-10 in a thriller. This one was no different. Kennebunk, great atmosphere at Kennebunk. They did a fantastic job there. A lot of fun. Kennebunk comes out fast. They're up 14-0, and you're like, Jesus, this might get out of hand. This is a long drive for 14-0. But credit to Spencer Emerson and his coaching staff. They got their team turned around. Falmouth came back, got it to 14, got it tied at 14. I'm hopefully remembering the sequence of this right. And they've got all the momentum. Now I'm wondering if I have the sequencing right. It doesn't matter. Okay, so crucial play in the third quarter. Falmouth is driving. They're inside the 5 now, and then they're at the 3 on 4th and goal. Trey Walker keeps it himself. Gets stopped at the goal line. Bang bang play. I thought he was in live, but really, really close. Really, really close. Actually, let's go to the tape. So yeah, really, really close. I don't know how you make that call in real time with complete conviction, without replay, because unless you've got a really good angle on it and you've got a bunch of bodies in there. So even slowing it down, going frame by frame, at least from the angle I was at, it's hard to see if he definitively in or out. You need kind of like 2 or 3 angles where you can sort of cross, reference them and like stop it here and do the whole thing. You need like an NFL level production on the game, and then you'd be pretty sure whether or not he was in or out. But calling that live in real time, really, really hard. And, that's such a big play. It's 7 points. If Falmouth can get there, gets in. If not, Kennebunk gets the ball. So they called him down. And then, so then Kennebunk has the ball later in the fourth quarter. Kennebunk has the ball. 4th and 15. They pick up the full 15. They get a face mask penalty on top of it. Their quarterback, who's I think Sam Matthews is his name, manages to pick up this. Oh, let's play the tape. So as you can see, really struggling to get the 15 yards, gets the 15 yards, gets the face mask. Austin West punches it in on the next play, and all of a sudden it's 21-14 and only a couple minutes left. Falmouth not done. Trey Walker leads them down the field. Bunch of really clutch throws from him. He had, he was really impressive in the fourth quarter, the whole second half, really. They score the touchdown with 20 seconds left. And then their kicker, who'd gotten hurt earlier in the game. So I'm on the Falmouth sidelines, and they're working pretty hard to get this kid healthy enough to get back out there. He's also the punter, kicker, and I think a linebacker or something. He goes in. They get him with 3 minutes left. They get comfortable that he can play. He goes in, misses the extra point, which just goes wide right. Devastating result. And it's 21-20. And they can't get the onside kick. And that's as devastating a way to lose a playoff game as probably possible. So we have a new champion in Class B. And I've been obviously following the Falmouth thing for a while. I had Spencer Emerson on the podcast last year at the beginning of the year. So that's sort of been one of the stories I've been following pretty closely. So it was tough for them, and kudos to them. They held heads held high, talked to them after the game, and of course we talked about basketball because that's what you do. That's what you do. Once football season's over, basketball, ready for basketball. And then on Saturday I went to MDI in Camden, and Camden just blew the doors off MDI. So that's another interesting story where their quarterback Hollis Schwalm was hurt last year, and Camden somehow won their first ever regional title in football. They've been knocking on the door for a couple years. They got a little ways to go to catch the basketball program, but they got their first hardware in the trophy case. Kudos to them. Kudos to Coach Christie, who's one of the vertical race people. So definitely, contact him because you're going to need to raise money for something, and vertical race can help you do it. And with that, let's go to my conversation with Ryan McLaughlin. My guest today is the sports reporter for the Ellsworth American and soon-to-be marathoner. Ryan McLaughlin is here.
How's it going, everybody? Great to be here.
All right, so we are, the drill. You've done this before. We're going to overreact. There's not a lot to overreact to now. I mean, it's less overreacting, and I think we're trending into properly reacting.
Yeah, we're kind of in that weird time where the fall sports are finishing, but we're getting ready. Like the Class S basketball team started practice today. So
Yeah.
we're in that weird time where the winter sports are getting ready to start, and we still got some gold balls to hand out on the gridiron here in the next 2 Saturdays. So it's kind of that little in-between time.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's because there's only the games on the weekends. There's nothing happening during the week other than the Class S practices. But it feels like it should be over, but it's not over. And we have a little bit more to overreact to.
Yeah, We had two regional finals on the gridiron last week in the actually four, math gonna math here, in the 8-man classes. So we'll have two gold balls that'll be handed out on Saturday at Edward Little. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the first one we all kind of expected in August, Stearns and Old Orchard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one, that's an interesting matchup with Camden Hills and Spruce Mountain. I think a lot of people, myself included, had the Jammers coming out of the north, but the south was kind of a toss up, and Spruce got through the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thought I thought Mountain Ararat was probably going to beat Spruce, even though my spreadsheet
I
said
thought so too.
Spruce was favored. And so apparently what happened is their big guy, Rennie, I think his name is, he got hurt in that
Yes.
game and didn't play the whole game.
Yeah, I saw both teams during, the regular season. I saw Spruce at Bucksport on opening night. They looked, prototypical Milltown team, very physical, likes to win the line of scrimmage, run the football, and Mount Ararat, kind of a carbon copy of Camden Hills. They like to spread it out, use their speed, get their athletes in space. So I kind of gave Mount Ararat a little bit of the edge, but you were right. When Rene got hurt, that kind of opened the door for the Phoenix, and they kicked it open. And good for them too, because I think it was 2 years ago they were supposed to play MDI in a playoff game, and their numbers were bad, and they opted out because they knew
Mm-hmm.
probably would have been a running clock by the start of the second half, and now they're playing for a state title. So Devin Roberts is obviously doing a great job. He's a Mountain Valley guy from the mid 2000s, on those great teams that Jim Aylward coached. If you remember the Rivals documentaries with Kate back then, so he's got that program going in the right direction, and here they are playing for a gold ball.
Yeah, and somehow my picture is frozen, but we'll power on. Am I frozen on yours for
Yeah,
you?
yeah, you're frozen.
That's weird. I don't. Okay. Well, hopefully it's gonna maybe it'll correct itself. Um,
It'll work itself out.
yeah, and so then if we look at the other side, Camden, like you said, a lot of people expected them to be there, and they were pretty dominant for the North for pretty much all year, with the exception of that G&G
They
game.
were. I really, really like their team. They just came out on Saturday and just set the tone with on both sides of the ball against a very, very good MDI team, who you can't judge by its record, because they played probably the toughest schedule um, in all of, I would say, in all of 8-man.
Hmm.
Like if you look at the games they lost at home, it was to Mount A, Lake Region, Camden, and I think Orono is the other one. So they played some very, very tough teams, and they had their chances and just couldn't take care of the football. And boy, Hollis Schwalm, he's a great one of probably the best quarterback I've seen in the 3 years since I've been back doing this full time. Just a dual threat. If you let him get outside the pocket, he's going to kill you with his,
Hmm.
not just with his legs, but with his vision. He's got a big arm, and he doesn't rely on just one guy. They've got weapons all over the field.
Yeah, Braden Beveridge. I've seen Camden twice, and he's been
Yeah,
great in both of those games. And I think the big difference,
he
like you
has.
said, Schwalm is whose name I keep thinking I'm mispronouncing. But he wasn't there last year because he was hurt, and
No,
it's kind of hard to win without your quarterback in the playoffs.
it really is. And in talking to him after the game, they seem very motivated this year. Because if you remember, they lost to MDI in that same game
Mm-hmm.
at Camden Hills 2 years ago, and like that MDI team was insanely good team, especially defensively. I think the only touchdown they allowed in the whole postseason was in that Camden Hills game, and that came after a block punt that the Jammers recovered inside the 10-yard line. So that's how good that MDI team was. But uh, the Jammers they were just so motivated, and um, don't be shocked if they add a gold ball to that trophy case this weekend. I like their chances.
And there's a lot of gold balls in that trophy case already, but none of them are for
There
football yet.
are. No, that football program is still somewhat young. I can't remember. I think it was either me or Ernie Clark who did the story at the BDN when they were getting their foot off the ground. 'Cause I want to say Jeff Hart was still the basketball coach back then. He's the AD now.
Yeah,
But
I think
they've
so.
been around, I think, 15, 20 years, somewhere in that ballpark.
That sounds right. Sure. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I think I was I think I was in Pennsylvania then. So I was
Yeah.
completely out of the loop. Um, but yeah, they've won, a bunch of basketball ones. They've won about 800 mountain biking state championships because
Yeah.
I have a theory that there's only like 4 schools who do it, and they just trade
Yeah.
championships every year. But they've got a banner
Yeah.
up in the gym with all those mountain biking state
They
titles.
do. They
Yeah,
do. And they've always been a soccer power too. Like if you look at what
yeah,
their girls soccer program's done in recent years, all
yeah,
the good
yeah,
players they've turned out.
yeah. And I think they won it all last year in soccer, but got knocked out early this year.
The girls have gotten knocked out by Bangor, I think, in the regional final the last 2 years. Bangor repeated, beat
Oh no, the
Scarborough
boys.
one
I mean the
nothing.
boys. The boys were
Oh, the
won it
boy.
last
Oh,
year.
the boys. Yeah. No, you're right. No, that. No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. I thought you were talking about the girls, but they developed a great rivalry with Lewiston, obviously. But you know, soccer's a funny game, and they got uh, knocked out, and that's just what happens. I mean, soccer's a weird game. Like, look at the Bucksport
There's so little
girls.
scoring.
Like, there is, and you get two. I don't want to like it's hard to say, but fluky goals, and
Sure. Yeah.
I think in that game, Bucksport hit like two or three posts,
Mm-hmm.
and the goalie was out. It was a microcosm of their game against Foxcroft last year, where Jasmine Hall just stonewalled them, and Foxcroft won in double overtime.
Yeah. If you get
It's
a
just the
hot
way the
goalie,
cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess.
you get a hot keeper, and
Absolutely.
some luck on your side. You hit a couple crossbars. I've been to soccer games where, you're like, well, this team should be up 5-0, and they're down 1-0, and you're like, how did this happen? They've
Yeah,
been completely dominating the game, but
absolutely.
that's what can
Like
you do?
there was a game where the Herman girls came to Ellsworth late in the season. I remember this vividly because I think it was 10 minutes before the game started. Um, I get a text from my wife saying that her health test came back benign, so that was a huge weight off both of our shoulders. And
Well, good
I
news.
think it was Lizzie Bowles had a freak, yeah, and Lizzie Bowles had a free kick late in regulation that went just wide, and for like 2 seconds after the ball left her foot, I'm like, this is going in. Like, Jesus is somehow going to will this ball in. But you're right about it's. You never know. It's like hockey.
Yeah. Hockey, even more so, you can run into a hot goalie, and
Mm,
it can be even a bigger factor because how many times in the hockey playoffs do you
100%.
see a goalie stand on his head, and you're like, well, there was 52 shots to 12, but we lost
Yep.
somehow.
Yep.
All right.
Which is what happened to the Black Bears on Saturday.
Oh, did they? Oh, I hadn't seen that. Oh, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Let's move on
Yeah.
to OOB and Stearns. That's the one that
Yes.
they wouldn't have even given you not odds on it on DraftKings because it would have been such a bad return.
No.
It'd be like betting on Cooper to be the number 1 pick.
Absolutely. Like those two teams they're just so fun to watch.
I haven't seen either of them, so I'm excited for Saturday to finally get to see OOB play
Yeah,
because it's too far to drive to watch someone win 70-0. You know, to go all the way down to OOB.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
And
so
I went
they
up to
played.
Stearns for
Okay.
their semi because they played Bucksport.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you look at this, it was 44 to zip, but Bucksport had a few drives inside the 20 in the first half and just, couldn't, finish the deal. But Stearns has, that they have Cohen Raymond, who's a great tailback, great speed. They still have the Pelkey kid who can do a little bit of everything for him. So, and they're very tough defensively. But I think this game's going to come down to who can force turnovers and get off the field because both of these teams can just light the scoreboard up.
Right. And so they played earlier this year. I think it was, I'm going to say week 3, and
Yeah,
I think at Stearns, and it was close at halftime, and
in
then
Millinocket. Yeah,
in
yeah,
Millinocket, and then OOB poured it on in the second half.
they did. Yeah, I think the war of attrition kind of took over because I think the Seagulls just have a little more depth than Stearns does.
I mean,
So that could be a factor.
is it going to be similar to the MDI Camden game where it's like Stearns just is going to have to play perfect? They're not going to be able to like turn the ball over and get away with it, stuff like that.
I would I would have to say so. I really think Stearns is going to have to finish drives. Like you can't they're going to once they get inside the 20, they're going to have to find a way to punch it in because like the big plays you saw during the North postseason, I just don't think an experienced team like Old Orchard's going to give those up. So for
Right.
Stearns, you got to find a way to finish drives. You can't just move it in between the 20s and turn it over on downs in the red area.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Because OOB will put up 70 on you. And
Yeah,
that's
and I think no, and I think the other X factor too. And I know Stearns will not use this as an excuse, and I know my relatives in Millinocket may come after me for this, but
uh-oh.
I think the drive is going to be an X factor because
Hmm.
in the bus, who can Stearns survive the bus legs? Because like from Old Orchard to Edward Little, it's the math is mathing. It's about like 40, 50 miles, if that.
That sounds
And
right. So like an hour maybe?
yeah, yeah, and Stearns, I would say a good 2.5 because you
Mm.
need an hour just to get to Bangor, and then easily another hour and a half to get you off the Pike in Auburn. So but
And
they
what
do
time is
have the
that game?
later game, so it's
Okay.
2:30. So the
2:30.
MPA kind of gave the Minutemen a little bit of a break in that context. So
I I think they should do this for basketball too. And I've been telling whoever will listen to this that like if you let's say Stearns, right? And let's say
yeah,
they were in Augusta or something and for the
yeah,
quarterfinals. Don't give them the last game just because that's
right,
where the matchup says they should be. Put them in one of the middle games.
yeah,
If you've got Cony and Gardner playing each other, put them in the late game at the Augusta
yeah,
Civic Center, for example, because that's an easy trip. Put Bangor Brewer in that game, and conversely the 8 a.m. game or the 10 a.m. game, whatever time it is.
yeah,
It's because
yeah.
it's like grandparents trying to drive this.
And all it takes is one snowstorm or one little dusting to screw things up. Because I can't speak for those people, but I don't like I-95 when the weather is terrible, and not everybody can afford to pull off the interstate in Waterville or Bangor and you know give a Hilton or a Holiday Inn their credit card for a night.
Hmm.
so,
Sure.
so that's the catch.
Yeah.
That's the catch 22.
And then the other part was when you get a situation where the on Friday night the boys team has the late game And then Saturday morning,
Yep.
the girls' team for the same school has the early game, and they don't get to go to each other's
Mm.
games.
No, that makes absolutely zero sense because it's a lot of times the team that's not playing will make up the student section for
Hmm.
for whoever is playing.
Yeah,
Like I see this a lot with Ellsworth and MDI, especially with MDI.
yeah. All right, let's move on. You want to go to D next? Let's go
Let's
to
go to
D.
D. Let's go to D.
Uh,
Yeah. We got Winthrop Morse, it looks like in the south.
so Morse is killing me.
Mm. They were
I
an
have
8-man.
gotten
They were another team that moved up from 8-man.
I have gotten 5 playoff games wrong in football statewide this year, which is crazy. 2 of them are Morse. I'm 0-2 on Morse, and I'm
Yeah.
like 21-3 on everybody else.
The
They're killing me.
shipbuilders are sinking you.
Yeah, my uncle played for them, not in basketball, and so they should be nicer to me. Is all I'm saying. Or maybe
Yeah.
I should be nicer to them. Is maybe
And
the the way to look at it.
I remember my freshman year at Brewer, we broke a long losing streak, and it was Morse that we beat. I think
Hmm.
it was Morse that we beat. It was in like way back in 1999.
The good old days. We had a situation here
Yeah.
where Madomic lost to Morse. This is in the 90s. They lost to Morse by 50 early in the year, and then beat them in the second game. And Moose
Yep.
Crossing, the
Yep. I
gardening
think I
center,
remember. Yep.
they put the score up on the sign and left it up there for like 3 months.
Of course they did.
It's just the
But they're
exact
but
amount of
they're
high school
they
basketball pettiness you like.
right. Hmm. But they've been a surprise. They came back up from from 8-man this year, and
Hmm.
I expected Winthrop to be in this game, but definitely not Morse, that's for sure.
I don't think anyone saw Morse in this game.
No. However, in the North, I think that's what most people had in August is John
Yeah,
Baps Winslow.
I think every week that I've done this, the consensus from the guest has been, yeah, it's gonna be Winslow and Baps at the end.
Yeah, yeah, and and those that might be I feel like that might be a shootout because
Hmm.
just looking at the stats, I think Winslow's the number 2 scoring offense among 11-man teams in the state, just only behind Cony.
Hmm. That
And
sounds right.
John Bapps is obviously very very well coached. You got to give Dan O'Connell his flowers. He's done a just a remarkable job with that program in the decades since he's been there. So I think they went from and forever to a state championship in just a few years back in 2008. So that
Yeah.
was, but that one, I think this game you could flip a coin. Um,
Well, they played
you
earlier
could
this
really flip
year,
a
and
coin.
Baps blew them out. Would be
Yeah,
would be my hesitation on calling it a coin flip because they went
yeah,
up there. I think that was in Bangor, and I think it was like
yeah.
40-8 or something.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. But Winslow's a proud program with a lot of tradition, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do to keep it close and maybe pull an upset.
Wait, is that right? I think my model has Winslow winning. That make sure
Huh.
that's doing the right thing. That's strange.
Yeah, talking to Mike Mandel at cross country a couple weeks ago, he says he likes Winslow's chances too.
Huh. Yeah, that's what it's got. I'll have to take a look at that later.
Yeah, yeah,
Weird. Weird, weird, weird.
it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah,
All right. So
that
we've
was
got that.
I wasn't covering Maine hockey that wasn't covering Maine hockey that night. That might be the one to go to. Just just as a fan, but I'll be at the Alphond.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's has Winslow ranked really high. Okay, huh? It's always fun when I find something strange in my spreadsheets live on a podcast, and it's
Hmm.
just great content.
That's Murphy's Law for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's really. I'm gonna have to look at that when we get off when we get done here. All right, so
Yeah,
let's move
yeah.
on to everyone's favorite Class C.
Yes, Class C has been just
A
oof.
delight.
It has been.
So,
You
what are
got
we down to
really
now?
two great. We got Herman and Levitt, and let's see.
That's going to be a great one. And then
We got
Greeley Wells.
we got Greeley Wells. Yep, Greeley, another team that came up from 8 man this year.
Hmm. Yeah, they're trying to, and they won
Yep,
8 man last year, which is crazy to. It's just
they
mind
did.
boggling to me that they could just so quickly adjust to 11 man.
Yeah, but I saw them in the state game. I think it was 2 years ago. That's who MDI beat, and I thought they were. And they just ran into a buzzsaw, but I thought they were another year away. And last year they did what they did, and here they are, the number one seed in Class C. Well deserved.
Yeah, they blew out Madomic um, on in the quarterfinals this weekend.
Yeah.
So, a little scary moment there that was relayed to me by, as you might imagine, everyone.
Mm.
Owen Dostie, who is one of Madomic's starters in basketball, helmet pops off
Yeah.
mid play. Someone lands on him, and they
Yeah.
end up taking him off the field in a stretcher.
I'm
And like,
sure Nick. I'm sure Nick DePatsy's blood pressure was up just a little bit.
just, Nick DePatsy's blood pressure starts up here, and and then
That's
stays up
true.
here, and it doesn't really go
That's true.
down. Um,
No.
but yeah, apparently he is all clear, is what I'm hearing. So that's a
Oh,
relief
that's good.
because you never want to see anyone get hurt for any reason, but geez,
No,
if they have to bring the ambulance out, that's scary
that's
stuff.
scary. That's always scary. Always scary. But I want to get to this Levitt Herman matchup because I think that's
Okay.
going to be probably the game of the week this week, if not pretty close. Like
It's got strong
obviously a
game of
lot
the
of
week vibes.
controversy the first time they played with the touchdown that maybe wasn't or most likely wasn't
Hmm.
that gave the Hornets that dub. Um, the That's a coin flip for sure, but you know, and it's great. Kyle Gallant's done a great job with that program at Herman, and a lot of cojones with that onside kick to start their game against Nokomis last week to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
set the table for, yeah. But it's hard to go bet against Levitt on their home field. They've been in the last six regional finals, I think.
It it just seems like that's when their season starts is the regional
Yeah,
final.
yeah, and they're obviously very extremely well coached. So
And
I'm going to take Levitt in a close one.
they seem to be improving as the year goes on. I've seen them 3 times now,
Hmm.
and they looked better each time.
They always peak in November. Like
Yeah.
that's just
So
how it always
according to the
is.
Stacks Index, it's not quite the game of the day because the game of the
Okay.
day is Westbrook and Kennebunk,
Ooh, okay.
which which is it looks like that could be a really really good game. The
You got a first time regional finalist against a team with experience
yeah.
and in the kind of Rams there. So
So we'll finish Class C first because so we also have Greeley and Wells. So this
yeah.
is two defending champions, right? Am I?
Yep.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
defending champions.
Yeah.
You don't get that a lot,
No.
and
We're
neither
gonna
of them are the defending
see a lot
champion
of that
in
this
this
year.
class. Like they're not
I
even
feel
the
like we're gonna
defending.
see a lot of that. We're gonna see a lot of that this year with all this reshuffling and reclassification in the works. But I think that's going to be a game to watch. You know, I like Greeley. It's home field advantage. Wells is always tough, especially defensively. They're going to try to control the line of scrimmage, but I just think the Rangers just have too many. They just have too many athletes. They're going to get their guys in space. I think they pull away late, win by 2 or 3 scores.
I believe the picture behind me is the end of the Greeley-Wells game. I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
from earlier this year.
Okay.
Which was a pretty good game, and Greeley could have lost that game. They could have, if some things had bounced differently in that one, they could have lost it. They were down going in the final possession of the half. They were down 14-7, and then Ben Kyles made an insane catch at the end of the half to tie it up, and then they were off to the races. But if he doesn't make that catch, who knows?
Could be a different game.
Could be a different game. It was one of those ones where I was going like into the half, like before he made that catch. I was like, geez, Greeley could be down 21-7 here, and I think they've outplayed them. And it was just one of those things, like in soccer, where if you get a couple scores.
Yeah.
All right.
And Wells, like I said, just has that championship pedigree. So.
Yeah. So if you've got to pick someone out of this foursome, Levitt, Herman, Greeley, and Wells, who do you like?
I would probably.
That's a tough 4
because
teams.
of their pedigree. Because of their pedigree, I would give a slight edge to Levitt. Just because they peak at the right time. They're extremely he's probably one of the top 5 or top 3 high school football coaches in the state.
Mm-hmm.
So I would the Hornets are my pick.
Friend of
very
the pod.
Tight. Very
friend
tightly.
Of the podcast. Hathaway is. Did I tell you the story of when
one of the best?
I took my kid to the Madomic Levitt game, and he met Hathaway, and then I had him do the pre-video, and he predicted Madomic would win, and I was like, you didn't say that when Coach Hathaway was over here. He was like, just got mortified, and then he asked after the game if they had a superpower because Levitt won by so much.
Kind of the opposite of my child going up to Grace Jaffrey and giving her a high five at a game a couple of years ago.
Like in the game?
No hesitation, no shyness. During post-game interview.
Oh, okay. Okay. That'd be trickier if it was during the game.
One of those awkward school holidays where times you play at like 4 p.m. So he came with me to an Ellsworth girls game. It was my first year back, so that was fun.
Reese, when he was like 1 and was super cute, he was at a preseason game or maybe a summer game that Greeley was playing in, and Anna DeWolf was like flirting with him, kind of during a timeout because she's a redhead, he's a redhead, and then she turned the ball over, and my joke was that he's the only one in Maine who can guard her.
Oh Lord. That's too cute.
All right, let's move on to B North.
B.
Cony. Oh my goodness.
Cony is just a buzzsaw.
It's ridiculous.
461 points. That's just you pick your poison with them. Who do you?
Yeah.
Who do you stop? Freiburg's going to have to play perfect and then some.
And then it still might not be enough.
I'm talking Super Bowl 42 level here.
Mm-hmm. And Parker Morin might just be winning the Fitzy. If he keeps this up, it's going to be hard to argue against him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the best player in the state by far, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good basketball player, too.
Just the way he's got that offense going. Okay. Yeah. Good night.
All right, so then
my kid's got his Cony red on, so I think.
Oh, there you go. Then on the other side, the South is where it gets interesting. I was at the Falmouth Kennebunk game, which was an instant classic, as everyone suspected it might be.
Yes.
And it was like the perfect game for me for what I do because it was super close, came down to the wire, had a controversial call that I got video
Mm,
of that I could put on Facebook and and get people all
mm.
riled up. So it's like
I did
really
see that.
the
Yes. Oh
trifecta.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was like I'm going to talk about it when I do the intro, but that's an impossible call to make if you're the officials because it's a
It really
bang bang
is.
play
It really is.
and
Yeah.
like it's such a big play. It's like
It
it's
really
7 points.
was. And yeah. And turned out to be a huge turning point in the game. And, the Rams took advantage. So, we got to give them, it's a tough call against Falmouth, defending state champion, but you got to give Kennebunk some credit.
Yeah, and there was a stretch there because Kennebunk was up 14-0, and then Falmouth came all the way back, where you sort of felt like all the momentum. Well, you didn't feel like all the momentum was with Falmouth, and Kennebunk found a way to turn it around, together a drive, converted a 4th and 15 on a quarterback scramble, which was incredible, and
That
just had
was.
barely enough.
And you got to give Falmouth some some credit for fighting back. And because you're a defending state champ, they're not going to go away. And the Rams
Hmm.
obviously responded and made some plays. And like, um, but how about Westbrook? Like, it's
Yeah,
hard to believe they've never been in a regional final
I
in
didn't
their
realize
history.
that until someone told me like 2 weeks ago that that was the case.
Yeah,
So these are some pretty bright lights for Westbrook against a very good Kennebunk team that's
they
used to
are.
being there. How do you
So you
even
have to.
coach that up?
That's going to be the challenge, I think, for Westbrook is getting. You can say, like, coaches will tell us over and over again, oh, it's just another game, it's this, it's that, and blah, blah, blah. But like these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. This is a game played
Hmm.
by humans.
Hmm.
Um, Westbrook has never been in this kind of game before. So they're going to have to, I feel, get off to a good start. They can't get behind the 8 ball, especially at home. They can't let those lights get too bright.
Hmm.
They've got to get ahead of the 8 ball, and I think um, get a turnover early, and they got to take care of the football.
Yeah.
As like you said, Kennebunk's got the experience factor.
Yeah, and if they get down 14-0 like Falmouth did, that's going to be a lot tougher to make that climb back into it.
That reminds me of the 2004. I think it was the 2004 Brewer team. They were in that same boat against Winslow in the regional final. It was up at Brewer, and Winslow came up and shut us out
Mm.
because we had never been in that type of game before. But we came back. Of course, everyone at Brewer knows we came back the next year and we won the state title and we beat Winslow at their place to win the regional title, which felt better than winning the gold ball, honestly, because we could never beat them when I was in school there, and it was frustrating as heck.
Yeah.
but
And
but
they
that's
always
kind of what this game reminds me of in
they
that
always talk about
context.
in the NBA, like when you looked at the Thunder last year and, just a team that's not been through all the stages and you've got to,
Hmm.
you can't, your first run in the playoffs, you're not going to win the whole thing because you've got to have some battle scars and, some
Right,
heartbreaking, Eastern Conference final losses and whatnot. And that's why when
but
two
don't tell
years
them
ago,
that.
yeah, well, when 2 years ago when Minnesota was making that run, I'm like, they're not going to go from a first round exit to the NBA Finals. That's just not happening.
No, mm-mm.
All right,
No.
who do
But
you like in B?
um, I'm gonna have to go with Cony.
Okay.
Been the best team all year. got the best player. I think they finish it off and bring that gold ball back to Augusta, and I think Parker wins the Fitzy.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Let's now move to Class A.
Yeah, we got some regional finals coming up in Class A here.
Yeah. Okay. So
Got a
regional
rematch.
finals. We have Portland Bangor and we have Thornton Academy and Bonnie Eagle. Yeah. So Portland has the player that everyone thought was going to win the Fitzy at the beginning of the year, Cordell Jones. He's had an up and down year because he was a Gatorade Player of the Year last year. I'm pretty sure Portland won the first time these two teams played by a lot. I seem to remember it not being close.
It wasn't. It was not close. So this game is obviously at Fitzy. Bangor's got a good quarterback in Kyle Johnson, but he's got to be the guy. Like he's got to play well, otherwise it's going to wind up like it did in the regular season.
Yeah. And this is at Fitzy, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's at Portland's your number one seed. Yep.
Okay. So then on the other side is the interesting one. Thornton Academy and Bonnie Eagle. They played earlier. They played a couple weeks ago. Thornton Academy won somewhat convincingly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was there. Thornton Academy was the better team. But
they were.
You could really see the path where Bonnie Eagle wins that game because they had a 60-yard touchdown pass wiped out by a penalty and not like a hold. I think it was like an illegal procedure or something. Someone was like off the line.
Oh, one of those.
It was not the penalty did not fit the crime. There was a long Thornton Academy drive where they just kept converting like 3rd and 15s over and over again, and Bonnie Eagle just couldn't get off the field. And I think you flip those two drives, and we're talking about a different game.
Absolutely, and it's hard to beat a team twice, in any season, especially in the postseason. And I really feel like this. I don't want to say it's state championship and a half. Like no disrespect to Portland and Bangor, but I feel like these are probably the two best football teams in the state. Thornton and Bonnie Eagle, and this game could go either way, and it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah.
These two teams know each other. Like,
what also happened in that game is Bonnie Eagle fumbled the second half kickoff. So it's they always talk about the thing the Patriots would always try to do is finish the first half with a score and then get the ball and score the double score. Well, they got the reverse of that where they had a score wiped out by a penalty on the last drive of the half and then fumbled away the second half kickoff and gave Thornton Academy a short field, which is like the worst case scenario of that.
And I feel like Bonnie Eagle's not going to make those same mistakes twice. Like they're just too well coached. They're too talented. So I feel like this is going to be a fourth quarter game.
I could see that. Yeah, and the last time, and part of it might be mental for Bonnie Eagle. They haven't beaten Thornton Academy in a while. The last time was in a state championship game. So there's a little bit of that trying to beat your big brother. And you have to first convince yourself that you can beat your big brother before you can actually do it. So that'll be, I think, one of the challenges for Bonnie Eagle is can they get those kids to truly believe it? That they, especially a couple weeks after losing to them by 20.
Yeah, and that's going to be the challenge, I think. But I think the Scots are going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after that regular season matchup. I still think Thornton wins in a close one, but like I said, it's going to be a fourth quarter game, and somebody's going to have to make a play.
Yeah, and
it's not going to be a 3-touchdown game.
If Thornton can get a lead and just keep giving the ball to Connor Ayub, then he had 300 yards in that game.
And that's going to be the ultimate thing for the Scots. Like you can't let Thornton get a multiple score lead and just control the line of scrimmage and just ground and pound you
Hmm.
into the off season.
Yeah,
Like you got to find a way to create something.
and not turn the ball over, because if you give Thornton Academy short
Exactly.
fields, they're going to
Absolutely.
score on you. That's what happened to Portland.
Yeah.
Portland kept giving them
Absolutely.
short fields, and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
All right,
So.
look at that. We got through all of them.
Yep.
So you're running a
Now we're.
marathon. We'll pivot. You're running this marathon. We were talking about
Mm-hmm.
this the other day. Um, Philadelphia
Yep.
Marathon is your marathon debut.
Philadelphia. Yep.
Philadelphia. What did I
It
say?
is.
Okay.
You said Philly.
Okay. All right. What is your time? What is your time goal? What's your A goal? Your B goal? What are we shooting for here?
The A goal is to be on the Rocky Steps with a medal around my neck on on that Sunday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
The B goal is to be under 4 hours.
Okay. 4 hours is pretty
Because
good for a
one of
marathon
the
debut.
one of the big reasons I chose this one is I think it's ranked in the top 5 marathons in the country for a first, if it's your first marathon.
Oh. What about it?
Yeah.
Like, why? Is it because there's cheesesteaks? Do they give cheesesteaks out at the finish line? Is that it?
I wish. I'll be going right to Gino's after I finish probably,
It's probably really
but the
busy there on
the ele
marathon day.
yeah, but the elevation gain is right around I think 700, which isn't. It sounds challenging, but one of but it but doing all the training here in Bangor Brewer, that it's going to feel like a pancake. So I think
Hmm.
one of my long runs a couple weeks ago, the elevation gain was something like 1200,
Yeah, that's
and I
significant.
always cross and I always do both cities on those long runs just because of the square mileage in Bangor is just what it is, and like being a brewer guy, I know those roads like the back of my hand, so that's just where I
Hmm.
like to train. And
You could you could come
the
do
other,
Waldoboro, and that's
oh yeah,
1,500 feet of elevation for 13 miles. So,
I think yes, yeah, yeah. There's a half in Lemoyne that's pretty close to that. I think they run it in, I want to say early March.
yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
there, it's
from
lower, it's less elevation. I know that because when I
yeah,
started telling
yeah.
people it was ours was the hardest, people would be like, well, "There was one in Lemoyne," and so I looked at their course map. I'm like, "Not as hard,"
No,
but it's still it's
and
I
the
think
other
it's
the other
significant.
big yeah, and the other big draw too, I think, was it's in between seasons, so to speak.
Mm,
So it's not like a Sunday where you have to worry about being at a gold ball game and then catching a red eye flight and then running 26.2 miles on, you know, 2, 3 hours of sleep.
hmm.
which
Or
which
you run it and
ironically I
then
did for
Monday
because
you've got to cover a
Thanksgiving week is
soccer
on
game.
the right, because that's the other Thanksgiving week is on the other side, and we actually get Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Like we don't get Veterans Day, but we get Black Friday, which I like better
Yeah, we have the same thing.
because I like to have that day after Thanksgiving just to chill and do nothing.
Hmm.
And so I was able to just use PTO on for the other days that week and just say, hey, let's just sleep on the train coming back.
Yeah.
So with the government shutdown, there's no way I'm getting on an aircraft.
Yeah, I wouldn't get on an airplane right now. Jeez, that seems like a bad idea.
It was the Amtrak was way cheaper. That's how my brother lives in DC, and that's how he goes anywhere on the East Coast
Hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
because it's way cheaper.
Okay, and then I also know that
But
you write
then
a. Oh, sorry.
no, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. So I also know that you write about the Patriots. Um, how surprised were you by the Bucks game?
Uh, I want to say I was shocked, but not really shocked, just
Hmm.
because, for a couple of reasons. Like, who does Baker Mayfield have to throw to right now?
Right.
Like Tony Romo said it perfectly yesterday. Just stick Gonzalez in man coverage against Ibuka and just dare these other guys to beat you because, no Mike Evans, no Bucky
Mm-hmm.
Irving, no Chris Godwin.
Right.
So, and I knew the Pats, they were going to have to weather the storm early. I wasn't shocked when Tampa Bay went down and scored on that first drive. And, Drake May kind of struggled a little bit those first couple drives. But I think once they got the score to Kyle Williams, that really set the table for the rest of the game. But one thing they're going to have to do better, and Romo really harped on this, was keeping their foot on the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of I saw it in the Atlanta game, they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit, and the Falcons got back into it.
Yeah. How much do you think it's going to help Trevion Henderson to have those 2 breakout runs?
Oh, big time. Like from a confidence standpoint, like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's been really inconsistent, but that's why they drafted him, to make those X plays. Like the speed he has is just outstanding. And it was just only a matter of time before he was going to pop one, and he popped 2 of them.
Yeah. I've been betting him every week to get a touchdown and 60 rushing yards. And this is the first time he's done it.
Yeah,
And I think it was maybe
there you
my
go.
doing because I went for a run at halftime and I missed the touchdown because I didn't get back in time from my run. So maybe a little bit of the credit goes here, is all I'm saying.
Yes. That's where I'm thankful I have YouTube TV, because I can just, if I get a run in during a game, I can just, go to the Y and hop on the tread and just put my phone on the thingy,
Mm-hmm.
on the stand on the treadmill, or just pop up my app and just listen to it if I'm outside.
Yeah, I have YouTube TV, and I just figured I'd get back in time because I only did a mile because my hip's been killing me.
Oh, that's
And
fair. That's
and
fair.
I look at my phone and I'm like, how are they already playing? How do we have a touchdown? So I rewound it, watched it.
Right. Perfect.
So yeah. So it worked out okay, but yeah, I thought that was impressive. I can't believe from where we were last year that people were like legitimately talking about Drake May as the MVP. I think that's just wild.
He just needed coaches and pieces. That's all he needed.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
coaches and pieces.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you one more question. What's your impression been of Cooper Flagg in the NBA so far? And follow-up question, is it all Jason Kidd's fault?
I wouldn't say it's Jason Kidd's fault. Cooper's doing, look what he's got around him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kyrie's not going to be back until probably the midpoint of the season. And I think I just read something recently that AD is going to be gone for a significant amount of time. And
I think so, yeah.
Cooper's not playing his natural position. He's playing point guard. So, but to me, that just shows the versatility he has and where he can, and all different places on the floor that the Mavericks can put him. But
Mm-hmm.
they've just got nothing around him, and the West is just so loaded.
Yeah.
So,
And then every couple games there's a graphic. It's like
but he's going to be fine.
youngest since LeBron James to do this and this and this. And you're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe he's not struggling at all."
I did see a graphic. I did see a graphic that listed like his high school record, and I'm like, that doesn't seem to include his 1 year at Nokomis, because my Brewer Witches got him in his first game.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
They only included the
remember,
Montverde years.
remember when we were all wondering if he could beat Brewer at the Civic Center? Like that was a legitimate question people were asking.
It was.
All right.
And now we got what, 2 weeks until basketball starts again.
Someone asked me this the other day. How long into the season do you think it will be before you figure out where everybody is?
Honestly, this year, especially in B North, probably not till the end of the season or
Yeah.
pretty close. Like like I was talking to Dawson Curtis at the state volleyball championships. He's going to be one of Ellsworth's best interior guys this year, and he was telling me that the rugged schedule that they're going to be playing, like they're going to be playing some A teams this year. I
Mm-hmm.
think they have Belfast on their schedule too. That's gonna You might see in B North the one seed be a 12 or 13 win team. That's how, like, especially on the girls' side, that girls B North is going to be the region of death.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see
because
that. Boys
we
too.
know who we know who the best player is, and that's Maddie Provost. But it's the question is who's going to be, because there's not going to be any prelims. It's going to be 1 through 8 get to Bangor, and that's it. And you're going to see a good team go home early, I feel.
Yeah.
But
I think A South girls is going to be a gauntlet too.
mm, especially now in B North girls with, I knock on wood, with Ellsworth healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be a big difference. Because,
Sid
geez,
Mason in the backcourt is going to be an astronomical difference this year. Because you talk about a three-headed monster with her. You still got Lizzie Bowles, who just committed to Husson. You still got Bagley,
mm-hmm.
and you still got the Austin Atherton, who was a vicious rebounder last year. Like she was one of their, like she's a volleyball player too. She was one of their net, like I don't know what the heck you call this position, like
I
a
don't know
net
either.
front specialist who would always go for kills and stuff like that. Like she
Mm-hmm.
can jump out of the gym. And you look at Mount Desert, um, their question's going to be in the middle because you lose Lexi Tozier
Mm-hmm.
to graduation, but they're probably going to have one of the best backcourts in that class with Lily Hamp, only a sophomore, but showed a lot of moxie as a freshman a year ago. Then you got that younger Norwood, Justin's daughter there, and
Mm-hmm.
Herman has another new. I think this is Herman's fourth coach in 4 years.
Really?
Marissa Kelly. Yeah, I think at least
Hmm.
this is the third coach they've had in the 3 years I've been back.
Wow.
So they had Tim Thornton 2 years ago. They had Liza last year, and now you got Marissa Kelly. But I feel like the team people aren't talking about and should be talking about is Erskine.
Yeah.
Regional finalists last year. They got a lot of players back. They're
Yeah,
going to
they were
have a
pretty
chip on their
young.
shoulder, I feel, after Caribou blew them out in the
Mm-hmm.
regional final last year.
If
Um,
their fans can not get kicked out of games, that would help too.
Absolutely.
You know?
And and I think those four teams, I think that's your top four. Like either way, like Lawrence, Mount Desert, Ellsworth, and Erskine. I think those are the four best teams are going to be the
Yeah,
four
that
best
makes
teams in
sense.
that class. Yeah.
It'll be interesting
It's,
to see Lawrence in the tournament, considering the last 2 years, how
yeah.
those have gone.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause,
talk about
John Bapps.
talk about being mad and having a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely. And, John Bapps, Chitani, she's at Bates now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a question with them of who's going to be that go-to person to score. Uh, Old Town's always an interesting team. They will like to clog things up a bit there. Cony, Nokomis,
Yeah,
they're
Coney
wild
should be good.
cards. I don't know. Coney should be a decent,
Wait,
probably a top five team.
isn't Coney an A? Or are they in B? See,
I
this is no one knows.
think it was them, Lawrence, Nokomis, and Gardner that are the
Went down.
new kids on
Okay.
the block. New
All
kids
right.
on the block this year. Yeah.
I probably have it on this computer. I'm sure I do. Let me say I do.
Mm,
They are in B. They're the biggest school in B at
yeah.
647. Okay.
And you look on the boys' side, that's going to be an interesting you said, it's going to be another region of death too. And
Mm-hmm.
you look at MD, the best player is probably James Witham, MDI junior.
Mm-hmm.
Question is who besides him are going to be the guys who can put the ball in the basket, because a lot of teams are probably going to throw junk defenses at him.
Mm-hmm.
Ellsworth, I think, will have the best front court, especially now that they got Colby Eaton from GSA just down the road there. So with him and Curtis and Jackson Berry, you got a solid top three. But
And Gardner's got their best team in probably 30 years.
Gardner and I think there was a showcase somewhere on Indian Island this weekend, and just from some of the talk on social media, Herman looked pretty good. Mason Kinney the Kinney brothers look pretty good. So that you can never count a Mark Reed team out.
Yeah,
they'll be tough defensively, especially.
Belfast was resurgent last year.
Yep, I think Ellsworth's got them on their schedule too.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's going to be
Cony will have Parker Morin.
Yeah, I feel like there'll be a team that's fun to watch that likes to get up and down the basketball court.
Oh, and Cony's got a really good freshman.
Yeah.
Braithwaite. I don't know if I said that right. But this is from what multiple people have told me, this is the best freshman class maybe in the history of the state. So that'll be super exciting to see.
Yeah, I think Chance Mercier mentioned a kid coming up for Ellsworth. I'm blanking on his name. I'll have to ask Matt when I talk to him. But there's another freshman. It looks like that there's going to be to watch out for down there this year. And they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, I think, after Old Town knocked them out of the tournament last year when they basically couldn't throw the ball in the ocean.
Yeah. You hate to see that in the
tournament. It was a microcosm of the regional final between the girls' teams the year before that.
That's not when you want to go cold, is in the tournament.
No. And speaking of, and Grace Jaffrey picked up right where she left off, a double-double. And
nice.
Their opening game on, I think it was on Saturday, 35 and 11.
Nice. She's crushing it down there.
There'll be a battle of Ellsworth and Bangor on Saturday, which I'll be going to in between Maine things. St. Joe's and Husson women. Got Lily Bean and Abby Radell facing off.
Nice.
So that'll
nice.
I feel like a lot of folks from down east will be making their way up here for that one. That'll be a interesting one.
I keep saying to myself I should go to some college games to see, where there's a bunch of Maine kids playing. And then I look at my schedule and I'm like, I don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
I try to get to those early in the season just because, a lot of them the schedule gets bunched up and there aren't many of us to get to everything as it is.
Right.
Which in a way is why I'm happy that most of Maine hockey's home schedule is before Christmas. Yeah.
There you go. Are they good this year? Yeah. Can they make another run?
I think they can.
Okay.
Yeah. Big game for football on Saturday too.
Yeah.
I might add.
Yeah. All right. So Ryan, where can people find you? Where's your Patriots stuff? I know the Ellsworth American, obviously, but where's your Patriots stuff? There's some website I've seen you share it, and I don't remember what it is, and I should have written it down.
That's Musket Fire.
Musket Fire. Okay.
Yeah, and some of my columns at the EA, I write about the Patriots too. Like, if anybody has seen my Red Zone column, it's mostly that I put in there, but sometimes I'll add some other topics.
All right, fantastic, and best of luck in your marathon.
Thanks. I'm really, excited about it. I'm just hoping for A nice, safe travel day next Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Got to get to the starting line healthy. That's the trick. And then the hay's in the barn, as they
Absolutely.
say.
The emergency packets. I'm telling you right now, those things work.
I'm telling the airborne gummies for Tourney Week. I
I'm
bought a
gonna get.
bottle of them.
I'm gonna try
They're
those too.
they're great. Because I am like right in the middle of it for all week, and I ate one before every game, and I didn't get sick.
Hmm.
So highly recommend that.
Now, yeah, maybe on my next Target run, I'm gonna give those a try.
There you go. All right. Have a great trip. Clear that
Thank you, sir.
4 hour mark.
Yep, we'll get it done.
Okay, that's the show. Thanks to Ryan. Good luck in the marathon. Marathons, man, they can be brutal. Hopefully the marathon gods are in your corner and you don't bonk. Don't do what I did on my last marathon where I dropped my fuel at like mile 18 and like an idiot, because I felt pretty good at mile 18. Like an idiot, I didn't stop and go back to get it because you don't want to stop and it's a thing. And I'm like, I'll be okay. I was not okay. It did not go well. So don't do that. That's my number one advice for you. Don't drop your fuel and try to do the last 8 miles with just water and Gatorade from the tables. So best of luck to Ryan in the Philadelphia Marathon. All right, that's going to do it. This has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source for the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball and football from Ashland to York and everywhere in between. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoy this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms and all that nonsense. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Thanks for listening.